the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go.
Yes, we thank you so much for joining in. We had to correct something small, but here we are. This is a very first Monday in the year 2023. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa, and it's news tonight. Government of Uganda is concerned about the death of people at Freedom City Shopping Mall along Entebbe Road on the night of 31st December 2022 during a stampede as revelers crashed to watch fireworks. 9 people died, of whom 5 were juveniles. Available sources implicate the event organizers for failing to plan movements of the revelers. Currently, business at the facility, such as banks, supermarkets and shops in the front of the mall, remain uninterrupted, but with a small number of customers. The stampede happened in the narrow pathway corridors of the Freedom City Kids Park, located at the rear end of the mall. Neighboring shops, restaurants and a gym have been cordoned off by police as a crime scene. Police have arrested music promoter Abbe Musinguzi, commonly known as Abitex, over negligence during the crossover night at the stampede at Freedom City, where a stampede occurred and over 9 people died at the 31st of December 2022. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga has confirmed that 10 people so far have been confirmed dead in the tragedy.
Among the confirmed deaths from the stampede of party after party music concert at Freedom City on the 31st of December 2022 include Nakatumba Margaret, 29 years, Namyal Mary, 14 years, Kibuka Daniel, 14 years, Nakakande Hadija, Nakanwa Jivail, Mwanje Shafik, Kisto Ibrahim, 11 years, Nakimat Hadija, and 2 other bodies which are not yet identified.
We want to establish whether paramedics and ambulances were on site, the number of stewards and ushers who were dedicated to the event, and the number of people at the concert, among others.
Police have arrested the concert promoter Abbe Musinguzi, AAK Abitex Promotions, over negligence.
Musinguzi, the promoter or organizer of the event, is already in custody. We're already investigating him for negligent acts that could have caused the death of these 10.
According to police, this stampede was attracted by the announcement of the MC encouraging revelers to move out to watch fireworks displays.
Why should somebody block all the other 4 exits and entries and then only use one gate? Of course, they did it on the assumption that there could be other gate crashers or people who are non-ticketed that could find their way back into the concert hall.
Security is investigating about the guardians of these juveniles perished in this tragedy.
We are also going to take action because if you noticed amongst the deceased persons, we have children who are under 18 years. And of course, children are below 18 are not required to attend adult concerts.
Police accusing organizers of deviating from the agreed guidelines, a special exit plan. During the crossover night, security in Kampala Metropolitan arrested 250 suspected criminals in different operations around the concerts.
That were arrested were those who were caught red-handed, engaging in thefts, and also those that were found fighting. So overall, a total of over 250 were arrested and are currently detained at our police stations of CPS, Katwe, Old Kampala, and Natete.
Police have arrested 2 police officers over professional misconduct during end-of-year festivities. These arrested include Police Constable Wako Michael and Police Constable Bwire Kevini, who were hired by one Usubga Richard for private work of intimidating the public.
Officers who were arrested for withdrawing from duty and for abuse of authority. This happened in Kawempe, that is KMP North. Our territorial police in Kawempe, Kampala Metropolitan North, in coordination with the professional standards units, has 2 police officers in custody for withdrawing from duty without permission and proceeding to execute matters that were civil in nature.
Security has cautioned the public about increasing cases of terror where unscrupulous people target fire extinguishers for criminal elements.
You put these fire extinguishers on the ground, they can be propelled to smash doors or windows, and then in extreme cases they can be used in the making of fire extinguisher bombs, where an IED is concealed inside the fire extinguisher and can be used as a roadside IED or vehicle IED.
These criminal gangs steal fire extinguishers from business malls, hostels, hotels, and other public installations. Abdul Nasili Lubwama for UBC.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has condoled with the 31st incident victims at Freedom City Mall along Entebbe Road as they bid farewell to 2022 and welcoming the new year 2023. The president's condolence message was delivered by Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, who visited the venue where the fateful night incident occurred. President Museveni has given 5 million cash support to each family that lost a dear one.
A stampede was occasioned because the people who had come here to attend the concert and celebrate the new year were allegedly requested by the MC at that time to move out of the hall within 2 minutes, but through one narrow gate, to go out to watch the fireworks. And within that time, the 20,000 people who were estimated to be here were expected to rush out through that one small entrance. And 18 people on that very night were evacuated from this place. And out of 18, 10 have been confirmed dead, and 8 who were injured have been discharged from the health facilities where they had gone to seek medical attention. Against that background, let me send my sincere sympathies and condolences to the families who lost their dear ones in that night. We are here this evening on the instruction of His Excellency the President to do 3 things, all of us together. One is to commiserate with the members who lost their dear ones, and to extend to them support of 5 million Uganda shillings to each of the families who lost their dear ones, so that it can support them in the burial arrangements and other emergencies which they incurred because of the unfortunate incident. Secondly, to agree and undertake to do thorough investigations and produce a detailed report about what caused the stampede and all the attendant and related incidences.
Residents of Namulanda, Ziru, Kauchi, Akrite and Werengai villages in Entebbe municipality cordoned off Entebbe Magistrates Court opposing the bail of Charles Chagaba. Chagaba was arrested for alleged torture and use of extra force to grab land from these citizens. They plead to President Yoweri Museveni and the state's anti-corruption unit committee to intervene and follow up on the matter, citing land grabbers corrupting the system on their own personal interest.
Residents from Namulanda village, Ziru, Kauki, Okrite and Werenga in Entebbe municipality carried placards and blocked entrance to Entebbe Magistrates Court protesting the release of Charles Chagaba.
Kati ettaka eryo nalimba alinunula kati okumala okununula natugamba liyiika mukaaga bwe liba yiika mukaaga akuwaako 3 yatwala 3.
Anatoli Kamgisha of Okrite City in Namulanda led the demonstration after receiving information that court was due to release the suspect Charles Chagaba on bail.
On behalf of everybody here, all of us here are victims of a man called Charles Chagaba, who has been masquerading as a person who defends the Bibanja people. And yet he's the one who is instigating them, and then at the end of the day comes and grabs your land.
While at court premises, they noticed that the suspect was already in court custody, which prompted them to raise voices, shouting dissatisfaction on how the matter is being handled.
Na nsaba baleme okola ki okubatuwa obwenkanya aleme kuvaayo nga tasasudde bintu by'abantu byayonoonye.
Taliwo beezi kumulaba nti yajja kulaga nti bamulwanyisa mu birala ayina ba politicians balina naye ffe tetuli ku byabufuzi ffe ekyaffe kiri kimu kyokka naffe twagala ddembe lyaffe ku mataka gaffe.
Residents accuse Charles Chagaba, a businessman, of torturing local residents and forcefully grab their land.
And you can imagine such an investment I have lost because I was putting up so many projects, but now they have been frustrated. I am crippled. I cannot go ahead with any project. I have the land, was so much big of land, ready to put up so many houses for Ugandans, but I cannot put.
They also appealed to President Museveni and the State House Anti-Corruption Unit to intervene.
People, they don't fight as Chibanja, but some people come and say we are protecting the Chibanja person, and they create a confusion and under the word Chibanja.
This, however, prompted court to order for an urgent meeting with both parties, but all in vain, after angry residents marched out of the meeting and decided to wait for court hearing set for the 9th of January 2023. Recently, Charles Chagaba was arrested by State House Anti-Corruption Unit and taken to court, where he was remanded to Chitalia prisons. Land grabbing has become common in Entebbe area, leaving less privileged persons suffering.
The Uganda Railways Corporation will resettle occupants of the rail land stretching from Malaba to Kampala. Uganda Railways Corporation spokesperson John Sengendo told the media that the exercise will commence after the registration of all the residents.
Uganda Rail Corporation has earmarked over 140 billion shillings to compensate squatters on Uganda Rail Corporation land stretching from Kampala to Malaba. The corporation's spokesperson, John Sengendo, says they are partnering with the African Development Bank to carry out the rehabilitation of Uganda rail lines for 5 years, starting in 2023.
We don't pay for the land, we only pay for what is on top of the line, because the land is URC land on the main line and other lines, but the African Development Bank will also get into the other lines, so that this yard is a complete yard for a station, so that we can have so many trains and wagons and coaches are stable in this area.
The corporation has a program to revive passenger transportation across the country after the completion of fitting new sleepers and rails.
Kampala to Chengera and Kampala Port Bell. And what we are also going to do in this, we are going to bring in what we call diesel multiple units, DMUs, that carry more people and are faster. Yeah. But we are also going to bring in more wagons and coaches that will transport Ugandans from either side at a go, so that we can also contribute to mass transport in this country.
Vandalism of railway lines and sleepers is still a challenge to the corporation, but the corporation will partner with the UPDF to provide security to the rail line.
It's not only taking the sleepers or rails, but also the ballast, the stones. There is also vandalism in upcountry areas. The activity on the line, is vandalism, and it is happening. But we are working with the UPDF and also the local leaders along the line to see that we can stop this vice.
Uganda Railways Corporation was established by an Act of Parliament, Amendment Act 331, with the mandate to carry out construction, operation and maintenance of rails, marine and road services in and outside Uganda. I'm Robert Katamba and Jamilu Sekaja reporting for UBC News.
UBC News Tonight. Here's a short break. Keep it with us.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution, or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone, or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312 206 400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda. Hey!
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go.
just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that Ebola is real and we must do whatever is required to prevent getting new cases. We therefore encourage everyone to remain vigilant and not to relax on Ebola. The symptoms of Ebola include sudden onset of fever, severe headache, muscle pain, weakness, sore throat, vomiting, bloody diarrhea, and in some cases, bleeding from the body openings. Please seek medical help from your nearest health center if you detect any Ebola symptoms. The sooner you start treatment, the higher your chances of survival. Please inform your nearest health center if you identify anyone with such symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading, follow the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization guidelines on Ebola. Wash your hands regularly with clean water and soap. Ensure safe and dignified burials of Ebola victims. Avoid handshaking and hugging. For more information on what you need to know and do concerning Ebola, please call toll-free 0800 100 066 or SMS 8500.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and in partnership with the Interreligious Council of Uganda, Buganda Kingdom and Kampala Capital City Authority.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. In a bid to start commercialization of silk production, Uganda and the Tropical Institute of Development Innovation is set to send its first ever silk yarn to European market. According to Aine Robson, the director monitoring and evaluation, Uganda is to send its first batch of silk yarn of 10 husks branded U-Silk to European market, that is to undergo a quality assurance test, which is confirmed to be ready to commercially produce its 100 metric tons for the market.
Development Innovations, a Ugandan silk producing company, exports its first bunch of silk yarn to the European Union market for quality tests. Director Monitoring and Evaluation, Tropical Institute of Development Innovations, Aine Robson says Uganda is set to send 10 husks of silk yarn branded U-Silk.
The European market, from the different people in the business that we have contacted, they asked us to send a sample of 10 husks of silk yarn. We are going to send this sample for them to confirm the quality. Once the quality is confirmed, we are looking at starting producing immediately. A tune of about 100 metric tons. This is dependent on the 2,000 acres of mulberry and the amount of cocoons we can feed with those per year.
Aine says U-Silk is 100% Ugandan product and that efforts are on to ensure a sustainable market by increasing on production and giving the additional machinery the company has.
We are looking at growing using a nucleus kind of model. That's why we have those 3 more sets of machines coming to cater for other regions. We want to have machines, factories in all different regions, so that what is produced from that area, from the region, is easily transported to the factory and processed.
The Executive Director, Tropical Institute of Development Innovation, Dr. Wandui Masiga says the institute has 2 factories established in Shema and Chepskunya in Kwen district, with gardens of mulberry in 34 stations within 24 districts.
We have different types of silk, but the most common globally is the mulberry. We should be able to harvest at least 800,000 US dollars from this area.
Tropical Institute of Development Innovation is also planning to empower communities by establishing outgrowers to encourage mulberry growing as an initiative aimed at improving people's household incomes.
Plan to do the outgrower scheme, to have outgrowers. We actually have a few that have ventured that we are supporting, and we plan to grow this plan so that we can have plenty of Ugandans join the venture.
Yiga Muhammad compiled this story for UBC News.
As the world goes digital, Ugandans need to get ready for changes in the digital world when using smartphones and computers. Over 4.5 million people in Uganda, including the young people, access the internet and phones, plus computers, which they use to acquire information. A new platform, Shop With Me, is on to boost the business.
Over 4.5 million people in Uganda can use smartphones to shop online, although many don't know how to use phones for development and poverty alleviation. However, according to the number of smartphones registered in the country in the month of October 2022, the number has increased. The director, Shop With Me platform, Anders Andersson from Sweden, says the platform is targeting especially the youth who want online business faster, cheaper, and also to avoid fake products imported in the country.
Look at the goods, then they go online and buy it. Why do they do that? Yeah, because it's of course so much cheaper, because you don't have the same cost for an online business than you have for a physical operated boutique. Because if you have a physical operating boutique, you have employees, you have warehouse, you have boutique rent and so on. With online business, you don't have that kind of cost.
Anderson told a media conference in Kasanga to Wakiso district that Uganda is the first African country to introduce Shop With Me platform. He encouraged leaders at all levels in Uganda to emphasize online business platform like other countries across the world, include Hungary, France, Italy, Sweden, among others.
Organizations, communities, private individuals, take a part of this training and be an online entrepreneur, because that's the future. Most of the business today is going from offline to online, and now you have the opportunity to be a part of that. And I encourage you to be a part of the team, take part of the trainings education we have.
He commended government of Uganda for establishing programs that support the development of online businesses. The coordinator Shop With Me online platform in Uganda, Engineer Davidson Chiraga, said they are planning to train rural and urban communities on how to use smartphones for online businesses.
Online, you have to be online. If your business is not online, then you have no business in the future. But Shop With Me.
Joseph Oko and Salon Kasabati in Kasabati.
In our continued series about HIV and AIDS prevalence in major cities of Uganda and fishing communities, tonight we continue to focus on Arua this time, which is located in West Nile, whose HIV and AIDS prevalence has shot to 3.1% over the last 3 years from 2.8%. In this report, we examine why the trajectory of HIV infection is on a steady rise in Arua City.
One of the newest cities established by an Act of Parliament on April 28, 2020 as a regional city for West Nile sub-region and became operational on 1st July 2020. However, I undertake to unpack the HIV/AIDS prevalence in this newly created city of Arua compared to other created cities in Uganda.
The prevalence rate is at 3.1%, but in the previous financial year it was at 2.8%.
Arua City has about 11,000 registered HIV clients. 3/4 are women, while 1/4 are men, including those from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Most intriguing, between 331 new HIV cases were registered in Arua Hospital between the period of January 2020 to June 2021.
For the previous financial year, the prevalence rate for the boys was at 1.1%, the girls was at 0.6%, then the men was at 2.8%, and the women was at 1.6%. And this is according to the District Health Information System.
With the booming business here, ever since Arua municipality was elevated to a city status in April 2021, the status has attracted a huge influx of people from different walks of life, making the lucrative trade of prostitution that has spiked the HIV prevalence in Arua City from 2.8% to 3.1% over the last 2 years.
In the past, the number of sex workers in the city was not as it is now, because as I speak, we have about 608 sex workers in the city, and we have even the gay people, about 100 of them. This business moves together with the presence of drivers. So each station, they keep on getting new wives.
A 2021 report from Arua Hospital indicates that the city is sharing the little with people.
Self-protection and safety. If you can abstain, abstain. And in line with that, trying to make sure that the condoms are available.
Amidst this dilemma, border riders stand a high risk of contracting and spreading HIV due to the nature of their job that hardly excludes temptations.
I always encourage people, we should be going for checkups.
In contrast of people's perception about HIV in the 21st century, I sought for opinions of the youth in Arua City on whether HIV is still a major threat.
My fellow youths, they nowadays say that the HIV is just malaria. They don't fear. dressing code has contributed a lot.
People, when you get drunk, always when you go and sleep with someone you don't know about the status, you can easily contract the disease.
Donna Aser from National Community of Women Living with HIV, Nakuola, says rampant teenage pregnancies attest to the fact that young people do not fear contracting HIV, a case that was different in 1990s and the early 2000s.
During the early days of the HIV compared to now, the perception of young people are different. And actually, when Corona came in, many people forgot about HIV. That's why the number of people, young people, teens involved in sexual activities was high. Many people fear pregnancy more than HIV, forgetting that the same way you are getting pregnant is the same way you also get HIV infection.
According to a 2021 report by Uganda AIDS Commission, young and adults account for 40% of new infections. However, for many reasons, people have feared to disclose their status, and this continues to be a trap for many in contracting HIV through a person who does not disclose his or her HIV status. Joseph Odama, UBC News.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Ton Ferrer, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Business news tonight. The business community in Kampala and Wakiso are optimistic that the new year will bring better opportunities and profits compared to the just ended 2022, which was mad with high inflation levels. We spoke to various individuals who share their expectations of this year in regard to the economy.
It's 2 days into the year. Business in Kampala and Wakiso is showing signs of picking up. Despite entering a new year, some businesses still decry the burden of paying rent arrears that accrued during the COVID-19 lockdowns.
You know, because of the COVID-19, when you had to come back, you had to pay the rent, you know. I think this thing should be discussed upon the parliament, and, you know, the government has to come and impose some, you know, to adjust a little bit in order to favor us.
In 2022, headline inflation peaked at 10.8%, a factor which put the Uganda shilling at a big disadvantage in favor of the dollar, which currency some tenants are still required to pay.
Some people are now still paying in dollars, you know. Yet we in Uganda, we have to pay in shillings.
Are you paying in dollars?
We pay in dollars.
Freedom City.
Freedom City, yeah. So, but then if at all we can pay in shillings, you never know. I think the government has to intervene and then it adjust that small thing there.
Hassan Chirunda, a small businessman in Kampala, asserts that Ugandans with sizable land ought to invest more in agriculture so as to increase their earnings while catering for their feeding needs.
You know, agriculture is, if agriculture is modernized, everything can be easy. Because even if you are in your office here, even if you are in State House, even if you are in UBC like you need the food. And for us, most of us, we are here in Kampala riding borders instead of going to village to dig.
In this regard, some small-scale farmers are planning to expand their acreage produce, eyeing various opportunities presented by the gradual ESC integration.
Selling milk, selling matoke, there is a lot of money in these agricultural things. Selling our coffee abroad, selling our things we are growing to East African community, these neighboring countries.
It's still too early to know how the economy will perform this year. However, Central Bank projects that inflation will continue to moderate, averaging between 6 to 8% in 2023 due to an expected decrease in global inflation. Wadulo Makanold in Kampala.
Uganda's National Development Plan 3 emphasizes digital transformation program which aims at increasing ICT penetration and use of ICT services to attain predominant digital economy. In this story, UBC looks at the one-year performance of financial technology adaptation in payment services.
The fourth industrial revolution is changing the technological face of the economy with widespread digital financial technologies. These are considered a significant factor in economic transformation.
National inclusion as a result of the above is now standing at 66% compared to 59% in 2017, with mobile money as a key driver.
The impact is really driven by what do consumers want. Consumers generally want easy-to-use solutions. They also want low-cost solutions, and they also want solutions that are accessible. Agency banking, mobile money, and other developments in the industry have started to deliver these things.
The main trend in the considered area is the intensification of competition between banks and IT companies, which makes it necessary for banks to change the traditional banking business model.
Nobody can be successful alone within this sector. And that's why you have seen, for example, banks work very closely with InterSwitch to support their ATM switching and ATM interoperability, whereby you can go to when you have a card of one bank, you can go to another bank and get your money.
I believe banks have changed the way they think, banks have changed the way they play, and so it's very critical that we spend some time seeing what else can we innovate around financial inclusion.
The convergence of different sectors of the economy will lead to the formation of new integral industries based on digital and fintech technologies.
It is starting to change, and local investors are starting to get attracted to innovations, not just in finance, across the health sector, across education, etc. And there are some innovations that are coming up.
Despite the significance of these emerging payment technologies, when unregulated, can expose the public to fraudsters and other cybersecurity cases.
The central bank has a critical role to play in that learning process. I believe that regulation will catch up with technology in some ways. In other ways, technology will continue to be ahead. But it's important to know that what is good for the consumer in terms of regulation is good for the operators, and it's also good for the central bank.
We have to invest a lot in awareness creation in terms of the threats a user will face. Someone has stolen your PIN. Someone has called you, you've given out your PIN.
The development of a national payment policy by the central bank is one of the regulatory framework streamlining the sector.
National Payment System Regulatory Framework is a regulatory sandbox which aims to promote innovation and product testing under a live but controlled setting with a regulatory oversight. The sandbox supports product innovation, which aids competition and enhances consumer experience.
These technologies working in silos makes their services expensive. This limits adaptation.
And Bank of Uganda has set up a good number of those sandboxes where different platforms can actually test their products or services.
Innovators recommend open APIs to offer opportunities to new innovations to thrive.
Open APIs allows you to accelerate that process. It therefore allows the acceleration of innovation. It allows the acceleration of service delivery to consumers. Open APIs will allow us to deliver more services very, very fast.
Central Bank is developing a national payment switch to reduce on the cost of production for financial technologies and will improve on transparency.
Significant discussions with them to understand better that what kind of switch, payment switch does Uganda require, given our systems here. What type of switch do we require? So we have had the discussions, and as a result, the discussions have culminated into what we call the business and the technical requirements for this business switch.
For a national switch. It's very important because it can support faster and more resilient interconnectivity between different players.
So this payment switch was supposed to enable those cross-border trade payments, which are informal, but those, say for example, if I'm at the border with DRC, I should be able to make my payment in my Uganda shillings through MTN with a player who is on DRC using their franc. The same with South Sudan. It should not matter what currency I am in.
InterSwitch East Africa has been on the forefront of promoting the interoperability of financial institutions.
We're working very closely with the national switch in DRC and across several other countries, including Kenya. So we know what it takes to run a switch, and we can support the central bank and are doing so to do that.
The high cost of gadgets, especially phones and other related machines, hinder the process of digitization.
Would desire that every Ugandan gets a smartphone because that's the only way they will enjoy broadband services. Because with that button phone, it cannot do internet. But there are those phones, whether it is a smartphone, whether it's a button phone, that are substandard.
Bring down the cost of devices, that is the terminals, the phones, the computers, the laptops, and everything else. And I believe the other is digital literacy. Digital literacy in terms of how do people use these tools and what services can they access.
The digital space in Uganda is expressing innovativeness and quickly adaptive towards the fourth industrial revolution. This aligns with Uganda's National Development Plan 3, and unregulated new payment innovations are likely to cause more harm than good. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
We
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
It's a new world. We are going global. A new world of greater connectivity. From Entebbe to Dubai, London, Mumbai, and Guangzhou. Welcome aboard a great new experience.
Sports news tonight. At least 50 young badminton players between the ages of 10 to 19 will feature in the third edition of the Entebbe badminton tournament at Entebbe Institute Club this coming Saturday. Our reporter has it in detail.
With just a couple of days to the 2023 Entebbe badminton tournament, organizers have promised quality.
The reason as to why I brought up this tournament, they wanted the children to showcase their talents. Because initially we have schools that sponsor children, and I also have promising schools that want to sponsor. So if at all the tournament is available and I've invited the coaches and different stakeholders, definitely the kids will get a platform for sponsorship and also other networking.
The tournament will attract more than 50 youngsters who are undergoing fine-tuning at the tournament's venue, Entebbe Institute Club.
I've been training from here since primary 3 at the age of 9 years. Badminton has benefited me in very many ways, because first of all I've got scholarships at Arua, and also I've got to travel to very many countries and also internationally.
Uganda's badminton Paralympian Rita Simwe believes that such tournaments should get the attention they deserve because of their conveyor belt role.
I would say it is a real good opportunity for the young ones, because as I've been here for some time, there are few that have gotten scholarships because of their game. So I appeal to every parent, if you have your child out there, please let them learn to play some sport, because sport of late is the employing sector that you do with all the love and passion you need. However, it's expensive, I understand, but together we can see how to handle and see how the game progresses.
The Uganda, I beg your pardon, the body of fallen football legend Edson Arantes do Nascimento, alias Pele, is laying in state in Estadio Abano Caldeira in Sao Paulo ahead of burial on Tuesday, 3rd of January 2023. The Abano Caldeiro Stadium is the ground of Pele's former club Santos, where he played for 18 years. Edson Arantes dos Nascimento, also known as Pele, started his football journey with Club Santos at the age of 15 in 1955 and signed his contract in 1956. He won the 1962 Intercontinental Cup and the 1963 Copa Libertadores with the club. Pele, regarded as the greatest footballer of all time for his skillful display of football, both locally and internationally. He won the World Cup with Brazil 3 times in 1958, 62 and 1970. In his 21-year football career, Pele had 92 3-goal games, 31 4-goal games, and 6 5-goal games, and once netted 8 goals in a single game. Notably, Pele halted the 1966 civil war in Nigeria as both sides agreed on a 48-hour ceasefire in order to see him play in a stadium in Lagos in 1969. Pele died at the age of 82 on the 29th of December 2022 after a 2-year battle with colon cancer. There will be a procession through the streets of Santos to a private family burial on Tuesday. We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you at this particular moment. We'll get back with a bigger arrangement at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Catch you then.